So we need to talk about Predator 5. What some people have been calling Skulls or Skull. Because Dan Trachtenberg has come out and debunked the title, basically. And actually quite a... I don't know, it almost seems like he's a little bit annoyed about it. I'm not going to say 100% he is, because that's kind of putting words in his mouth. But it does kind of seem it. Seems like a good old backhand away. But he has debunked it. And I guess, like, it's understandable where all this came from anyway. We'll cover that in a moment. But if you don't know what this is, Dan Trachtenberg is directing Predator 5. That's right, there's been 4 Predator movies. Predator, Predator 2, Predators, The Predator. And then this one will be Predator 5. And it's been going by the working title. Just the production title is what they call it, to sort of swoop under the radar, called Skulls. It's been known as that for a really long time. A very, very long time. I've done videos on it for a fairly long time now about that. And then, weirdly, swooping in out of nowhere, just like Jasper there. You alright, mate? Side note, PO box in the description box if you want to send something for Jasper's birthday next Monday. But basically, there was an interview with one of the producers, John Davies, where he just jumped in and said, "Oh yes, Skull," and he kept referring to it as Skull, this Skull, 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 Skull. And then Collider reported on that as, that's the title. 100% that's the title, done. And in fairness, my bad, I sort of ran with that a little bit as well. But it's now been completely debunked. So this is the sort of article piece anyway. So this is the Collider piece that was an exclusive. In a new interview with Collider, timed to this week's release of Disney's Jungle Cruise, producer John Davies and John Fox revealed that Dan Trachtenberg's upcoming Predator movie will be titled Skull. So there's no actual quote, though. So I don't understand where that came from. Because it's very definitive. But Dan Trachtenberg has made Collider look really stupid right now, because Dan Trachtenberg tweeted out this. Looking at this old picture of our slate from when we shot 10 Cloverfield Lane and thinking about how sometimes they report on a movie's title, but it's actually just the code name it is shooting under. And so, like I say, look, that really does make Collider look stupid. Massively stupid. It's not a small amount of stupidity there. Like, it's not a good look for Collider. It does make them look pretty dumb. They came out very headstrong about it all. But then as well, in fairness, is it really their fault when the producer is sitting there going, yeah, it's titled Skull. Absolutely titled Skull. And also, I would actually encourage you guys to go and check out Dan Trachtenberg's Instagram. I'll leave it linked down below just because I think you guys might like it. This is another thing that he tweeted out, which says Skull's blood test. Obviously, everything, it's on, it's the clacker. Everything else is kind of, blurred out there as well. But he is teasing bit by bit. He's bringing the teasers. But like I say, Collider sent this out. And it's not just that either. It's not just that. There were some other bits and pieces. So there's this one here as well. The film will boast a female hero, which I always think is interesting, said Davies, who revealed what Skull has in common with the first film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. It goes back to what made the original Predator movie work. It's the ingenuity of a human being who won't give up, who's able to observe and interpret, basically being able to beat a stronger, more powerful, well-armed force. It has actually more akin to The Revenant than it does any film in the Predator canon. You'll know what I mean once you see it, promised Fox, though Davies declined to reveal the specific time period. You can use your imagination. It is early. It's Native American Comanche, apparently. And then there was one final piece, which was down here. And they say, as far as one of the, the tone of the film goes, Davies said, it all depends on how you end up cutting it right. It was conceived as an R-rated movie. It could easily end up PG-13. I guess I'm going to find out what it has to be or what it is when it's all cut together. So they're already discounting the fact that it's not 100% going to be R-rated, which really does suck. Like, why are you doing that? You're already losing people just by that point. But the real take home from this is, like I say, Dan Trachtenberg just coming out and going, you know what? People that reported on that, not so smart. It's just the working title. Just the working title. And as well, like at the end of the day, Skulls, or Skull, as the title of the film, does actually suck. Like, that's bad. I didn't like that at all, in fact. I thought that was a real bad one. Anyway, but like I said, not only has Dan Trachtenberg sort of dunked on Collider, he's also semi-dunking on the producers to a certain degree. Although, like I said, Collider never provided the exact quote where the producers actually called the film Skull. So maybe they were just embellishing to try and get an exclusive, even though they had the exclusive anyway. Super dumb from Collider. Like, really, really, really dumb levels of dumb. But let's... You know, I've done a good few videos on this now. But I also want to just take one more moment to end up discussing about this PG-13 nonsense with the R rating. It really should be R-rated. It should be R-rated. If this ends up being PG-13, you can make a good bloody PG-13 movie, by the way. You absolutely can. It's not what I'm trying to say. I'm not discounting that. But if this ends up PG-13, you are going to disenfranchise a large portion of the audience. Dan, I know you're not watching this. I hope you are. Please, if you are, I know. I know you're not going to be watching this, but just from one Predator fan to the other Predator fans that watch this, I'm sure I speak for most people when I say if Disney come out all guns blazing with their first Predator film and it ends up being PG-13, there'll be a lot of people that are dubious, more so than they would have been if it was R-rated, about this film. So don't shoot yourself in the foot, because people will be on the back foot already, initially, and they'll be watching this going, let me find every fault with it. Because that's what they'll do, and I think that's justified as well. This film should be R-rated. You should make a concerted effort to make it R-rated. But it's still shooting at the moment. I can't wait to see how this does. It's supposed to wrap up shooting very soon, this month actually. They're already over 3/4 of the production's been done now. So it'll be fascinating to see how this unfolds. I would imagine it's due out next year. Won't be too much special effects involved in this. Hopefully not. And we did learn that it was maybe going to be releasing on Hulu. So there you go. Dan Trachtenberg dunks on Collider. I believe so, anyway. I think that's a pretty firm dunking on Collider. And everyone else who reported on it, me included. But let me know what you think. And this also goes down to Project Ice Cream, which was the working title for Matrix 4. It's just working titles. But Skulls is a relatively good one, but as a title for a Predator film, no, not so good. It'll be interesting to see what the title actually ends up being, because they haven't been that inventive with their titles for these films. I'd like to think this will be much more captivating as a title. Grip my imagination. But anyway, let me know what you think down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Like I said, ladies and gents, I do now have a PO box. I haven't done a video on it yet, but if you want to send me anything, a letter, sour candy, food from your country, Hot Wheels cars, figures, whatever, the link is down below in the description box. Please do check it out. If you want to send Jasper anything, please do. He would really appreciate it. It's his birthday next week. So grab that whilst you can and send stuff on the way. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Cheers, guys. Take care.